Okay, so on this month's show, I have got the wonderful Julia-Sophie joining me via Zoom because, well, let's face it, I couldn't get you in the studio soon enough, and you're doing some studies, and so we've had to do it remotely this time. But it's still really lovely to see your face through through the through the
Communicate.
yeah, exactly. How are you? It doesn't it feel like a lifetime ago that we were messaging in lockdown and starting to
Yeah,
talk about your music?
I'm good, thanks. I mean, as well as one might expect, feels like it's been a bit of a roller coaster of I guess, a few years now. I guess for me, it all kicked off with Brexit, quite frankly, and then COVID, and now we're in a war. So yeah, it's kind of, I can't help but think about the impact that what's going on in the world does actually, for as much as I try and stay stable and positive and healthy, I do struggle. But yeah, I'm here and I've just released an EP. So I'm crawling. I feel like I'm crawling.
I think we all feel a bit like that. The world's gone mad, and it's
Mm.
really hard, heavy news that we're just being confronted with all the time. And I do feel like music is the ultimate escape to that, though, because even earlier today, I just was going through loads of new music and adding some stuff to playlists and listening to your new EP before chatting today. And yeah, it's much needed. Have you felt that?
Music.
Yeah.
Um, but well,
Have you felt like going into the studio and making more music has been a bit of an escape?
yeah, I guess when you're in the release phase of something, I kind of focus a bit more outwards. Like getting it out into the world requires a bit of work. But I've been doing some remixes and I have started to write some more stuff and I will be going to studio in a few weeks. But I haven't been like immersing myself for the last couple of weeks, in all honesty.
Yes.
Shame on me.
But yeah, tell me about the beginnings then of this EP, because you've put out two before this one. When did you make this one?
I made it in I made it. I feel like I want to say like in 1964, but I didn't know. I made it. It feels like years and years ago actually, but actually when I really think about it, I probably made it in last year. So it's in October, I think. I was kind of recording. So it's taken me, what year are we? 2022? Yeah. So about a year and a bit, I've been fiddling away with it. But I have been, yeah. So this EP is the first of a trilogy. So I guess I have kind of not just done the three songs. I have finished a trilogy of EPs. So this is just the first one.
That's exciting. So there is, yeah, like you say, loads more to come.
There is more to come. Yeah, I yeah. This is just the start. It's funny when you said like I released two EPs. I thought, God, it feels like so much more, but actually it's only two EPs, isn't it? It doesn't. When you just say two EPs in my third, I often feel like, I'm not getting anywhere. Where am I? But actually, two EPs isn't that much, is it really? Like, maybe I should just like, well, I don't know, lower my expectations.
No, it
Yeah.
is. It is. It's a great achievement. Like it's a body. It's still. I know it's a smaller body of work, but it's still a body of
Yeah.
work. And there's so
Yeah.
much thought that goes into it. All the artwork and the videos that you make with Siobhan Cox, and like, yeah, two EPs, girl. And
Two EPs.
in a pandemic as well, which was, let's face it, the weirdest
That's
time
true.
of all.
I only release in kind of hard times.
Yeah,
I like to release music in pandemics and wars.
yeah. We spoke in the beginning of the first lockdown, messaged me on Insta, and then we got chatting, and that was around the track Breathe was the first track that I heard from you. And so yeah, that was 2020, and here we are in 2020. It's literally 2 years ago, probably to the
Yeah.
day. um Does it feel kind of strange in a sense of you put out those two EPs and weathered those, difficult times in not being able to go out and play live and do all these things? Does it feel different now? Does it putting out this EP? Is it, because it's like you're stepping out into an actual world?
Well, it does in some ways. I guess like I kind of had a little window of doing loads of shows, just kind of from the end of the summer into kind of December. So I kind of I was very hot when I played the shows, but no, I hit peak kind of showtime, and I did loads of shows. I played with I was opening for Art School Girlfriend and Leticia Sadia from Stereolab. I did a few shows, and I feel like I opened for Stealing Sheep, and I don't know, I feel like I opened for Low Island, and I did quite a few shows, and then now releasing this EP, I have no shows. So I don't know. Like, I have announced a little tour in June, July, hoping just to build up. But yeah, I guess sad to say, don't have loads of shows organised.
It'll come. I think everyone's still a little bit tentative.
Yes.
This month's quite quiet, but then come May, June, July, and into festival season, there's more going on, I think.
Yeah, I think there's still a bit of catch up going on with acts, and I also think kind of the acts that I was playing with, or that I was relating to, have played, right? So they're not on the road either. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I guess I'm just going with the flow.
Yes, that's all you can do.
Thanks.
That's all you can do. And what was this EP born out of in terms of its content? Dial Your Number, maybe breakup vibes.
Got loads of breakup vibes. Live the eternal breakup. It goes on and on. Yeah, it does have breakup vibes. It is about a breakup, and it's also about kind of basically reaching a point where you have to end a relationship, or end something, even though you don't really want to, but you've got to the point where you're like literally really not helping each other. And so it's kind of like, I love you, but I think us being together is really bad, and we're gonna literally may as well like douse ourselves in petrol and set ourselves on fire at this point, because we're really not helping each other.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that sentiment, like, I wish I didn't have to leave you, but I think someone's got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I was.
Yeah.
That's where the EP and yeah, quite a few songs are based on
that whole process. Yeah. And I love the idea on Dial Your Number. I kind of, that minute detail that you don't, it's like those little things where you're like, actually, this might be the last time that I dial your number. It's that sentiment. I like that. I like that you built a track around that.
Yeah. That's how I feel. It's like, well, this might be the last time we talk then. Okay.
Okay, bye. Yeah.
Bye. And this is terrifying, and I feel broken. But yeah, I'm trying to do it for the best.
Yeah. How does it feel, sort of, having made this music then? That, when you made it, you were in it.
Yeah.
When now you're not so in it, maybe.
Oh, I don't know. I still feel, I guess I'm less in it, and more. I guess now I'm just sad. Now it just feels like trying to find when you've leaned on someone or found support from, then you find yourself by yourself. Then you've kind of got to reconstruct yourself and all fall apart to kind of then, really feel what it's like to be by yourself. That's quite a big thing to face. Not always easy either, to digest kind of, it's easy to find distractions, go for a drink, have a smoke, like go to a party, talk shit, go on a date, I don't know, all those things. But then when you actually stop all that, you have to face things. You kind of being kind of desensitizing. You have to start feeling it and processing it all, and that's no fun.
No.
That's where I am. So don't expect any cheery music from me anytime soon.
Good to know. But I don't think we really want the cheery, I feel like what you're doing right now it's good.
Right.
This is what we
I
like.
think I'm a bit of a downer though. I do definitely feel quite like don't talk to Jules, who's a bit of a downer with her downy music and her downy things. But yeah, because it's so feels like everything always has to feel so upbeat. I do struggle with the social media. Like, hey, look at this great, I'm really excited to release this really painful fucking song.
Yeah.
It's quite tricky. But
I know. Yeah,
but
but I'm all for the I'm all for the misery. I love it. I always, that's why I go back and listen to Radiohead all the time. Even if I'm really happy in my life, I still go listen to Radiohead. I just love the misery. I love it.
Yeah.
So I think that's where there's a sense of, if it's something you can relate to, everyone can relate to loss and the breakup of relationships and the breakdown of relationships in their life, whether they're romantic or family or whatever. Everyone can relate to it. It's universal themes, right? But yeah, I love that. I love a bit of misery, even when I'm happy. Well, so I think there's people out there that feel the same.
Occasionally there's a bit of hope and romanticism.
Yes.
A bit of tenderness.
Yeah. And some raviness as well. Darya Number has that. It's got that, it's the ravier end of the spectrum when it comes to Julia-Sophie music.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was your process in terms of, bringing that punch to it?
Punch?
Yeah, of the beats.
I guess maybe it's kind of like, well, I guess part of it is like, I guess it's a two-thronged response to that punch is like, maybe one is I kind of like to use a lot of driving beats and rhythm, because for me it kind of it's supposed to symbolize or kind of resonate with the kind of relentless kind of bashing of the life and the world that just keeps hitting you and moving you forward. I feel like I'm like this tumbleweed that's just like having to roll with it, So I kind of like to use the beats to kind of, that's my kind of reasoning for it, and the kind of mechanical kind of aggression that we kind of as humans have to kind of endure and live, even though sometimes our hearts are melting, so that's kind of where I go with my beats. But then there's also part of kind of like, I guess I'm kind of learning a little bit to maybe, or starting to think about maybe not, maybe it's also I use it as a bit of a kind of distraction and a bit of a kind of like, what's the word, like I'm hiding a little bit behind them. So kind of maybe I'm thinking about being a bit more open and honest and not covering all with beats and things. So hence, I guess releasing Video Girl on the same EP and being a bit more vulnerable with it. So I'm still kind of discovering myself, and with that I'm trying my best to kind of find myself in the music, really.
Yeah. We should talk, I mean, we always do talk about Siobhan, but she does the kind of visual element of things. And it's, I mean, even the lyric video for Dial Your Number is absolutely beautiful and amazing and a thrilling watch. So
thrilling.
A thrilling watch, it is. And it's not even a proper video, it's just the lyric video.
She's great. She is great. I feel so blessed to be, to have worked with her and to be working with her. And she just makes me look better as an artist and really brings the music to life. And in this day and age, without visuals, it's really hard to communicate to the world, even to release a track, you need a a photo and at least, So yeah, I'm really lucky to have somebody who has really embodied the music for herself and being able to like have the skills to actually like produce visuals that work with it, because you can have ideas, and she's very in tune and very sensitive to music, and yeah, I was lucky enough that she liked my music enough to be bothered. Yeah.
Don't you cart around loads of old TVs for your
That was Siobhan, really. I don't take any credit for that. We use them a lot in the thematic kind of visuals of the last EP, so we thought we'd tie it in with the live and bring them to the stage, which was fun,
Yeah.
But there was definitely more TVs in the car than there was instruments.
Just on your band rider, it's like, oh yeah, Julia-Sophie's coming, not with an entourage, but with load of old TVs.
We need people to lift TVs. Yeah.
We need another van for the TVs.
Yeah.
Like So have you guys shot some videos then for these tracks?
As brilliant artists as we are, leave to artists to themselves to figure shit out. And it takes a bit of time. We've fumbled and bumbled, but we haven't quite managed to get the visuals out. But we are working on it, and we hope to have visuals for the future.
Okay, excited for that.
Okay.
And then we're also going to play Video Girl. You said earlier that it's, vulnerable. And I wrote here, tender and vulnerable. And just a real headphones moment. Like the production just swirls around. It's really beautiful. Such a beautiful track. Tell me a bit about Video Girl and the story of it, or how it came together, or lyrical theme, or something like that.
Well, I guess... Yeah, so I guess my roots are in songwriting, and I always write all the songs at first. I write them all on guitar, believe it or not, even though there's absolutely no guitar in the recordings. And so, I was really hesitant to release Video Girl because it's something that I associate myself so much with, is that like singing a song, it's quite, it's just a tender, small song in a way that I thought no one really wants me to hear me do that. So that's kind of, I guess, the background of like how that song came about. And actually it's quite normal for me to sing that kind of song and do that. But yeah, I guess I experimented with the production of it, not to make it so classically singer-songwritery, the way that it kind of jumps into that kind of stereo sound halfway through, which was quite fun to play with. I mean, I sat on that I don't know, like, I guess on that recording it is just a one take vocal, and I think I literally made up the bridge as I was going along, really. People have responded quite a lot to that song, saying they like that song, and I'm quite and I do wonder whether it's because they notice it more, partly because it's such a juxtaposition to my other stuff. Like if I released all my stuff like that, I don't know that people would notice it so much. Or maybe I'm just, again, like, I don't know. Have I answered your question?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
It's the light and shade, isn't it? Like if you're making a record, you're not going to have all the tracks like Darya Number, and that's this first EP of the trilogy. It's kind of got that. It's got the more punchy electronic kind of slightly ravier one, and then one that's sort of in the middle, and then this is the kind of the slightly slower, different sounding one, and then to be followed by the next part of the story kind of thing. That's how I see it anyway.
Well, you've obviously put a lot of thought and the right thought, and somehow I managed to convey exactly what I wanted to the world, to you. Thanks. Um, I guess also just a little, it's a little, I don't like to be too predictable if I can avoid it. It's not where I like to sit. And so, yeah, it was nice to put a track like Video Girl out and kind of maybe people weren't expecting it. Um, yeah, so we'll see.
For those of you who haven't come across Julia-Sophie's music yet, and this is the first introduction and portal into it, tell us a little bit about your story.
My story. Well, I guess I've been in other bands and musical makeups, and I've quit music and I've started music again. And I guess Julia-Sophie came out of a period when I kind of just really needed to express myself, and so I started recording songs again, just by myself. No intention to release it. It was literally just a therapeutic exercise, and then Siobhan Cox, I guess, who does all my visuals, kind of convinced me that I should actually pay a bit more, have a bit more self-belief, and so I started releasing. I released my first EP in 2020, and it was called Why ? And yeah, it's electronic based music with I hope some heart emotion, song kind of based in some ways. Yeah, it's an exploration of that. And then a year later I released my second EP called Heartbroken, and then now I'm just releasing the first EP of my trilogy called It Feels Like the I don't know, I guess it all kind of started rolling when you got me on Six Music, Georgie. I don't know.
Oh. Early days, and then yeah, here we are now, and we have, like you say, the first of this trilogy. And we should also just quickly talk about Anna Pryer, because Anna Pryer is in Metronomy and has a record label, and this you're involved with that, aren't you, for this release?
Yeah, so I guess like every release, as in like my two releases to this date have been released. I released them by myself, really, doing all the press and whatever, building it, building kind of, yeah, I don't know, what do you call it? Building a following, building an awareness of my existence musically in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it was really nice. I was kind of, I don't know how I started chatting. Oh, yeah, because someone from, yeah, Moshi had asked me to do stuff. And then I started talking to Anna. I have no idea how I started talking to Anna, but I think it was from Stephen from Moshi who recommended my music to her.
Yeah.
And she was starting a record label. And yeah, in all honesty, I just was talking to her about life and nothing in particular about her releasing my music. And then one day she just said out of the blue, "Do you want to release your track, your music on my label?" And I just said, "Oh, yeah, I hadn't really thought of that. That sounds like a great idea. Let's do it." She has been so supportive. So yeah, I'm her first kind of release. She set up her label primarily to release her own music during COVID and all that. I think Metronomy were like halfway through a world tour when COVID hit, so she had, so I'm kind of her first artist who isn't herself released on her label. And she's been so supportive, really lovely, and I think her label's going to be great. She's primarily focusing on releasing female artists and artists of, I think, that's what she's focusing on. But she just as a person, as somebody who's been supportive, she's been so lovely, and I really recommend anyone checking out her music and just kind of saying hi to her. She's great and really approachable.
Yeah, Beat Palace Records is the name of the label if you want to go check it out.
Yeah,
Oh,
primarily, I actually just wanted to release with them because she has a great logo for for
oh.
her label, so that was highly attractive.
Note to anyone starting a record label: get a good logo because it'll, yeah,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
Well, it's so wonderful to chat to you again, and thank you so much for, yeah, for the new EP, and to everyone out there, go and check it out. Um, it's out now, available everywhere on all streaming platforms and wherever you get your music. So, Julia-Sophie, thanks for being on the show, and I will speak to you again soon.
Thanks so much for having me. It's been great, smashing, and see you soon.